Hello and welcome to season 42 of Sims 4 Survivor. This is Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg. And just like last season, we do have a newbie cast of Sims that I made myself. Some of these have appeared in some of my videos. Some of these are just random Sims that I made for this specifically. And there is one Sim who is actually a pre-made Sim, which I guess we'll get to in a second. So without further ado, let's introduce our cast. First up, we have the Renegades, named after one of the clubs in Get Together, which is the pack that Windenburg is included in. And first on the board, we have Adelaide Hyacinth. She is a sim that I made while playtesting Enchanted by Nature. So she is wearing a bunch of Enchanted by Nature stuff. It's not a fairy though, she's just a normal sim. But yeah, here she is. Then we have Andy Short, who is a teenager, a high school student. He is a gamer, capital G gamer. And I made a whole family for him, which you can find on the gallery if you want it. His family members might pop up at some point. He has a twin sister. Anyway. Then we have Cameron Bruno. Cameron comes from that household I made of a bunch of sexy men. The same household that Clay is from. So yeah, Cameron's here. Then we have Amber Rhodes. Amber is a sim I made while trying out Crystal Creations. So she is a jewelry maker, artistic girl, I don't know. Next up, we have Hattie Jasonson. Hattie appeared in my Daily Girl series that I did when I was in kind of a slump. So I was trying to get back into content creation, and so I was uploading every single day. And I made this sim to be my next door neighbor in that series, just to have some like recurring characters on that series. But I did end up sort of ditching that series. Anyway, Hattie, she's just like a middle-aged woman. She lives a pretty chill life. She's about to retire soon-ish, probably. Resident of Oasis Springs, I guess. And next up, we have Parker Piperstone, who is another sim that I made while playtesting Enchanted by Nature. He is actually a fairy, so that's something. But yeah. And then next up, we have Polaris Witten. Polaris is a sim that I did when I was playing casually at some point. She is an aspiring author, but she also loves to go out clubbing, so she can never get any work done on her writing. She's like one of those 20-year-olds with a lot of ambitions, but can't direct it in the right direction. And then we have Thomas Everyday, the husband of Trish Everyday, the fan favorite last season. Thomas, he's just a regular average guy and here to compete. And then we have Valerie Chandra. Valerie is a sim from The Sims 3, specifically The Sims 3 Pets. She is a pre-made sim there. And I love that sim. I always loved that sim because I always used to play on Appaloosa Plains when I was playing The Sims 3 because that world is just so big. And she would always show up wearing like all red, and I just always thought she was kind of cunt. So I decided to make her in The Sims 4 so I could put her into my game. And yeah, now she is here on Sims 4 Survivor. And then final member here is Winston Shutter, who was in a one-off video that I made where I was trying to max out all of the base game careers or something like that. And he was an aspiring artist, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Then on the other side, we have the Paragons, also named after a club in Get Together. And first up, speaking of Daily Girl, we have the Daily Girl herself, Georgia Hillman. She was the star of the Daily Girls series that I did. She had a bunch of babies that she named after various states in the United States. Yeah. She also lived together with Johnny Sest for a little bit. They were roommates, I think. Then we have here Darren Reeves. Darren is a sim I made after they dropped an update to the skin details. So I was like playing around with that. I made a couple of sims. Literally a couple. They were a married couple. And Darren is here. He's like a academic, I guess. I don't know. Then we have Goth Boy, who was another of Georgia's neighbors on Daily Girl. We never really saw him on that series, but he did live next door. And this is, I think, the most downloaded sim on my profile in the gallery. I don't know. People love him, I guess. Then we have Harvey Humphrey. Harvey is another sim that I made and plopped into my save because I was in need of some single sims. And then we have Jessica Silver, a bodybuilder Barbie, an absolute queen. I made this sim while playing casually. This is her debut on my channel, I guess. And another sim like that is Juan Morel. Juan is just like, he's just like a guy. He's a pretty chill dude. He's here to play and have some fun. Then we have Leigh-anne Chambers. She is a high school student. I made her and her family to populate Willow Creek at some point. I also built them a house in the neighborhood that the Goth family lives in. And both her parents are pretty like affluential people. Her mother is like a famous pianist and her father was like a politician, I believe. And I think Leigh-anne is also interested in piano. I think that's the storyline that I made for her. She was gonna like step into her mother's shoes, I guess. Then we have a sim that I made specifically for this. We have Tandy Newbrook, aka DJ After Hours. She is also an elder, but that doesn't stop her from partying all night long. She has been in the business for at least 40 years now, and there is no stopping her. She is still going. Then we have Tristan Spews, who also comes from that same video that Vince is from. The one where I was trying to max out the base game careers, and he was representing the astronaut career. He was employed as an astronaut. Or no, I don't think that's true. I think he was in the secret agent career. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so he's a secret agent, I guess. And then finally, we have a sim that is near and dear to my heart because she was from a very early series in my channel's lifetime. We have Miss Pasta Tortellini. Miss Pasta was in a series that I called a very casual let's play. I was playing with this beautiful woman, beautiful pink woman. She was a fairy, and that series didn't really go anywhere, but, you know, I think she's kind of a queen. She did have a daughter named Monday. I do remember that, and that's kind of it. So that is our cast. We are going to be playing Cambodia today, so there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, I guess. Fun things happening, hopefully. And I guess without further ado, let's just start the season. We start with a twist. It is the marooning. So the renegades, they get a large bag of rice. Good for them. On their beach, we don't really have anything going on just yet. On the Paragon's beach, Miss Pasta finds the idol. Good for her. Juan and Darren don't like each other so far. And that's kind of it. Okay. Immunity goes to the renegades. Also, Miss Pasta gets the idol. I forgot. They hit the idols at the challenges. So she just got a clue to the idol, but she has now officially found the idol. So good for her. But anyway, the renegades, they won the marooning. They now win the immunity. So good for them. On renegades, Polaris, she finds the idol clue. So she's going to have to get the idol at the challenge in the next episode. And also Hetty and Vince, they bond strongly. But on Paragon, we have Gothboy and Juan with a major fight. That's not great. I imagine one of these is going to go out at Tribal tonight. So yeah, let's just go to Tribal. We got the Paragons here. We got Darren, Georgia, Gothboy, Harvey, Jessica, Juan, Leigh-anne, Miss Pasta, Tandy, and Tristan at their first Tribal. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I read the votes. First vote goes to Leigh-anne. 1 vote, Leigh-anne. Second vote goes to Harvey. 1 vote, Harvey. 1 vote, Leigh-anne. And the next vote goes to Harvey. 2 votes, Harvey. 1 vote, Leigh-anne. Next vote goes to Leigh-anne. We're tied. 2 votes, Harvey. 2 votes, Leigh-anne. 6 votes left. I guess that fight back at camp did not have any bearings on anything going on. And the next vote goes to Harvey. We got 3 votes, Harvey. 2 votes, Leigh-anne. Next vote goes to Leigh-anne. 3 votes Harvey, 3 votes Leigh-anne, 4 votes left. And the next one goes to Harvey. We got 4 votes Harvey, 3 votes Leigh-anne, 3 votes left. And the next one goes to Leigh-anne. We are tied again. 4 votes Harvey, 4 votes Leigh-anne, 2 votes left. Are we deadlocked? Maybe. The next one goes to Harvey. 5 votes Harvey, 4 votes Leigh-anne, 1 vote left. And the final vote goes to Leigh-anne. Okay, we are tied. So we're gonna do a revote. The first vote on the revote goes to Leigh-anne. 1 vote Leigh-anne. Next vote goes to Harvey. We got 1 vote Harvey, 1 vote Leigh-anne. And the next one goes to Leigh-anne. 2 votes Leigh-anne, 1 vote Harvey. And the next one goes to Harvey. We're tied again. 2 votes Harvey, 2 votes Leigh-anne, and 4 votes left. And the next one goes to Leigh-anne. 3 votes Leigh-anne, 2 votes Harvey. And the next one goes to Harvey. We are tied again. 3 votes Harvey, 3 votes Leigh-anne, and 2 votes left. We could be deadlocked here. The next one goes to Harvey. 4 votes Harvey, 3 votes Leigh-anne, and 1 vote left. And the first person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor, Windenburg. It is Harvey. Harvey, the tribe has spoken. Somebody flipped on the revote. So unfortunately, Harvey takes the hit here. Really not sure why either Harvey or Leigh-anne are getting votes. We didn't really get any context entering this. So I guess let's just go through the votes and see what happened. So we got Darren, Jessica, Juan, Leigh-anne, and Tristan voting for Harvey. And then we got Georgia, Gothboy, Harvey, Miss Pasta, and Tandy voting for Leigh-anne. And then it is Gothboy who flips on over to Harvey. Interesting. Okay. So it does seem like Gothboy and Juan having that fight was because they disagreed over who should go out, I guess. But then Gothboy is the one who flips, and that's kind of weird. But okay. We move on to episode 2. What is going on the beaches? We got Polaris with a clue. Can she get the idol? We'll see at the immunity challenge. We do also have Thomas and Cameron with a small bond, and so do Thomas and Ember. And that's all we got so far. On Paragons, we got Miss Pasta with the idol. We got Juana and Gothboy with a medium dislike. Tristan and Darren with a small bond. Tristan and Leigh-anne also with a small bond. Juan and Darren with a mild dislike. And then nothing at the end here. Immunity goes to Renegades. Good for them. They are safe again. Polaris also finds the idol. So she now has an idol. On their beach, we have Parker and Polaris bonding strongly, which has a lasting impact. Okay. And on Paragons, what's happening? Gothboy has a major meltdown. Oh no. He's having a rough 2 episodes. He does bond with Tristan though. We also see Darren and Leigh-anne bond strongly. Miss Pasta is resting at camp. And Darren is injured, but he's fine. So who's gonna go out? It could just be a unanimous Gothboy boot here, I guess. I don't know. We'll go to Tribal. Paragons are back at Tribal. They are at 9 now. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Darren. 1 vote Darren. Next vote goes to Tandy. 1 vote Darren, 1 vote Tandy, 7 votes left. Next vote goes to Tandy. 2 votes Tandy, 1 vote Darren. And the next vote goes to Darren. We're tied. 2 votes Darren, 2 votes Tandy, and 5 votes left. And the next one goes to Tandy. 3 votes Tandy, 2 votes Darren. Next vote goes to Darren. We got 3 votes Darren, 3 votes Tandy, 3 votes left. And the next one goes to Tandy. 4 votes Tandy, 3 votes Darren, 2 votes left. And the next one goes to Darren. Okay. We are tied. 4 votes Darren, 4 votes Tandy, and 1 vote left. And the second person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg is Darren. Darren, the tribe has spoken. Honestly, kind of glad that it's him over Tandy. I think Tandy is probably going to be a more fun character on this season. So, hate to see you go, Darren, but also thanks for taking the hit here. Did also think that he was doing a lot better than this. I did not expect him to go out here because he had a lot of like decent relationships, or maybe not a lot of them, but he like had that relationship with somebody and then he was like bonding with somebody. So it did kind of look like he was going to do fine or like be fine, but I guess not. Maybe people were realizing that he was becoming a bit of a social threat and decided that they wanted to just take him out here. It is Georgia, Jessica, Juan, Miss Pasta, and Tandy who vote for Darren. Darren, Gothboy, Leigh-anne, and Tristan vote for Tandy. So this seems to be the same group of people that were in the minority in the last episode who get Darren out here. That's kind of interesting. I think Miss Pasta and Tandy both voted for Leigh-anne. Gothboy does not vote with them now, but I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to episode 3. We have a twist, and it is a tribe swap. So on the new Renegades tribe, we have Staying Here, Thomas Everyday, Valerie Chandra, and Vincent Shutter. And joining them are Miss Pasta Tortellini, Tandy Newbrook, and Tristan Spews. On the new Paragons, we got Georgia Hillman, Jessica Silver, and Juan Morale. And joining them from the Renegades, we got Adelaide, Hyacinth, Cameron Bruno, and Parker Piperstone. Then on the new Spin Masters tribe, we do have Andy Short, Amber Rhodes, Hetty Jasonson, and Polaris Witten coming on over from Renegades. And then we got Goth Boy and Leigh-Anne Chambers coming on over from Paragons. So it's kind of hard to read anything into this tribe swap because there are no alliances yet. We did see that Amber and Polaris were like bonding, right? In the last episode? No, it was Polaris and Parker. Amber did have a relationship with somebody. I don't remember who. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. On Renegades, we have Winston Thomas with a mild dislike, and that's pretty much it. We do have Miss Pasta with idol and no idol clue hidden on this tribe, or on this beach, I guess. On Paragons, we got no idol and no clue hidden either. And then we got nothing really going on. And then on Spin Masters, we do have an idol clue. We also have Polaris with the idol, so she could get another one, I guess. Polaris and Amber have a mild dislike. Leigh-Anne and Goth Boy have a mild dislike. And that's it. So I guess Polaris and Amber are, they did not like each other. So the game is like wide open at the moment. Anything could really happen. Let's go to immunity. The Paragons and the Renegades, they win immunity. So the newly formed Spin Masters tribe, they're going to go to tribal. On Renegades, what's happening? We have Valerie with a fight. 2 fights, in fact. She is fighting with Miss Pasta. She's also fighting with Wins. Okay. Valerie, I don't know what you're doing, but okay. Good for you. On Paragons, Georgia and Jessica have a minor disagreement. A lot of people fighting. Really nobody forming any alliances on this season yet. On Spin Masters, Polaris. She finds the idol clue. Okay. So she could potentially get another idol in the next episode. We also have Amber and Polaris fighting something in common, which is good because they did not like each other. Amber and Goth Boy also with a major fight. Goth Boy is burning every bridge he has ever like seen, I guess. We are at tribal with the Spin Masters. We got Andy, Amber, Goth Boy, Hattie, Leigh-Anne, and Polaris. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Leigh-Anne. 1 vote, Leigh-Anne. Second vote goes to Goth Boy. 1 vote, Goth Boy. 1 vote, Leigh-Anne. And the next one goes to Goth Boy. 2 votes, Goth Boy. 1 vote, Leigh-Anne. Next one goes to Leigh-Anne. We got 2 votes, Goth Boy. 2 votes, Leigh-Anne. And the next one goes to Goth Boy. 3 votes, Goth Boy. 2 votes, Leigh-Anne. And 1 vote left. And the third person voted out of Sims for Survivor Windenburg. It's Goth Boy. Goth Boy, the tribe has spoken. Not surprising that he goes out here. He has been fighting with everybody. He has been rubbing everybody the wrong way. Honestly, kind of surprised that he wasn't just straight up the first boot, but he somehow survived to the tribe swap. But now he's gone. So it is Amber, Hattie, Leigh-Anne, and Polaris who vote for Goth Boy, and then Andy votes with Goth Boy for Leigh-Anne. Andy potentially in trouble. We'll see how that goes, I guess, in the future. We're on episode number 4. What is happening on Renegades? We've got Vincent Valerie with a medium dislike. Vincent Thomas also with a medium dislike. Not looking good for Wins here. Already people not liking him, but also Valerie and Miss Pasta with a mild dislike as well. So maybe Wins and Miss Pasta can come together in their mutual dislike for Valerie and try to get rid of her or something. I don't know. On Paragons, we got Parker and Adelaide with a small bond. Okay. I guess they're both like Enchanted by Nature Sims. And we got Juan and Georgia with a mild dislike, and that's it. Okay. Then on Spin Masters, we do have Polaris with an idol and also a clue. Can she find the idol? I guess we'll have to wait for the next challenge or something. We got Polaris and Ember now with a medium bond. Okay. They did not like each other in the last episode entering the tribe swap, but coming out of the tribe swap, I guess they were like, okay, I mean, we should put aside our differences and maybe form something. We also have Leigh-Anne and Hetty with a small bond and Polaris and Hetty with a mild dislike. So who is not here? Andy. Andy, even though he voted in the minority, I think he's kind of becoming a bit of a swing, right? Because we do have Polaris and Ember on one side, and then we got Leigh-Anne and Hetty on the other side. And Polaris and Hetty don't like each other, so I think they're going to gun for each other. I guess it's going to depend on who picks up Andy, who's going to win out. But also Polaris has these idols, so their side might just win by default. Reward goes to Renegades and Paragons as well. Doesn't say if Polaris found the idol, so I guess that's going to be in the immunity challenge. And immunity goes to Spin Masters and Paragons. Also, Polaris does find the idol. Good for her, but that means that Renegades are gonna go to Tribal tonight. On their beach, we've got Tandy and Wins bonding slightly. Really no alliances being formed on this season. What's happening? On Paragons, we got Adelaide and Juan finding something in common, and Juan and Parker bonding slightly. But Spin Masters, we got Polaris with 2 idols, Andy and Leigh-anne have a small fight, then we got Leigh-anne and Polaris with a small fight, and Amber and Leigh-anne finding something in common. Kind of a big visibility spike for Leigh-anne. Is this leading to a Leigh-anne boot? Maybe. Could be. We are at Tribal Council with the Renegades. At their first tribal, we got Miss Pasta, Tandy, Thomas, Tristan, Valerie, and Vince. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Tristan. 1 vote Tristan. Second vote goes to Valerie. 1 vote Tristan. 1 vote Valerie. Second vote goes to Tristan. 2 votes Tristan. 1 vote Valerie. And the next one goes to Valerie. We're tied. We got 2 votes Tristan and 2 votes Valerie. And the next one goes to Tristan. 3 votes Tristan and 2 votes Valerie. 1 vote left. And the final vote goes to Valerie. Okay, we are tied. The first vote on the revote is going to go to Tristan. 1 vote Tristan. Next vote goes to Valerie. 1 vote Tristan and 1 vote Valerie. Next vote goes to Tristan. 2 votes Tristan and 1 vote Valerie. And 1 vote left. And the fourth person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor, Windenburg. It's Tristan. Tristan, the tribe has spoken. Honestly, he was barely even on this season. I'm not sad to see him go. He wasn't doing anything. He contributed nothing. And now he's gone. So, goodbye. It is Tandy, Thomas, Valerie who vote for Tristan. Miss Pasta, Tristan, and Vince vote for Valerie. And then Miss Pasta is the one who flips. That's kind of interesting because she did not like Valerie, but I guess she was like, I am not going to go out, like get rocked out of the game with an idol in my pocket. I can take out Valerie later, I guess. All right, we move on to episode 5. Renegades and Spin Masters are down to 5 members. Paragons are still at 6. On Renegades, we got Vince and Valerie with a strong dislike, Vince and Thomas with a medium dislike, and now Vince and Tandy with a small bond. We also have Valerie and Thomas with a small bond, Valerie and Miss Pasta with a mild dislike, Thomas and Miss Pasta with a small bond, and then just like bonds at the end. Vince is kind of a big character on this tribe. He has these dislikes. He also is sort of bonding with Tandy, so that could be an alliance forming. Valerie and Thomas forming this bond, that's kind of big, especially because Thomas also likes Miss Pasta, but Miss Pasta does not like Valerie. But Thomas could like put in a good word for Valerie for a little bit, keep her in the game for a bit longer, I guess. On Paragons, we got Parker and Juan with a medium bond. We also have Parker and Adelaide with a small bond. Juan and Georgia with a mild dislike, and that's it. Renegades are kind of a boring tribe. On Spin Masters, we've got Polaris with her idols. We got Polaris and Leigh-anne with a medium dislike now. Okay, we got Polaris and Ember with a medium bond. Leigh-anne and Ember with a medium bond. That's kind of funny. Ember has like these 2 people, both Leigh-anne and Polaris, but they don't like each other, so she can't really form anything with that. Leigh-anne and Hetty have a small bond. Polaris and Hetty with a mild dislike. And then just like bonds at the end. Andy completely not in the mix at all. Maybe he'll just be a consensus boot. I don't know. Reward goes to Spin Masters and Paragons. Good for them, but immunity is going to go to Paragons and Renegades. So I guess Spin Masters gonna go back to Tribal. Can Andy survive this? I don't know. On Renegades, what's happening? Miss Pasta and Tandy have a major fight. Oh no. I thought they were like working together kind of because they've been voting together, but I guess not. Not anymore. We also have Valerie working hard at camp and becomes tired, but it's okay. Georgia, she's impressing the rest of the team, but she also has a major meltdown. And we have finally our first alliance of the season. It's about time. It is Jessica, Juan, and Parker. So Juan and Parker, they did have that bond. So they're definitely forming this alliance and they decide to pull in Jessica, I guess, for some reason. On Spin Masters, what's happening? Amber and Leigh-anne have a minor disagreement. That's not promising for Leigh-anne. We also have Andy with a major meltdown. Oh no, Andy. And then Amber and Leigh-anne, they bond slightly. They had their fight, and then I guess they like apologized to one another, came back together. So I don't know. I think it's just an anti-boot here. Consensus anti-boot. All right, we're at tribal. Spin Masters, they are back. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Polaris, she stands up. She is gonna use her idol on herself. Honestly, kind of smart, I guess, because, I mean, she does have another one anyway, so might as well just use it. Any votes cast against Polaris will not count. I'll read the votes. The first vote goes to Polaris. Does not count. Polaris does not count. Whoa. I did not think she was going to get that many votes. Next one goes to Polaris. Does not count. Wow. She just saved herself. I imagine the last two votes are going to be Polaris and Ember, right? Because I imagine Ember did not vote against Polaris. Maybe she did. The next vote goes to Andy. One vote Andy, one vote left. And the fifth person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg. It's Andy. Andy, the tribe has spoken. Did not expect him to get idled out of the game. That is kind of wild. Kind of a weird trajectory for Andy on this season. I think if he had not had that meltdown, I think it would have been fine. He could have been a swing vote. He could have, like, maybe just been a little bit under the radar, and I think Hetty would have gone out. But unfortunately for Andy, he did have that major meltdown because he wasn't really ingratiating himself within the tribe, and that is his downfall. So it is Andy, Hetty, and Leigh-anne who vote for Polaris. Ember and Polaris, they do indeed vote together, and they take out Andy with the idol. Let's move on to episode 6. On Renegades, Thomas finds the idol clue, which I guess got re-hidden after Polaris played her idol. So Thomas might get an idol at the immunity challenge. Now we have Tandy and Miss Pasta with a strong dislike. Vincent and Valerie with a medium dislike. Vincent Thomas with a medium dislike. Oh no. Valerie and Tandy with a medium bond. Vincent Tandy with a medium bond. And we got Thomas and Tandy with a small bond. Thomas and Miss Pasta with a small bond. Valerie and Thomas with a small bond, and then Valerie and Miss Pasta with a slight dislike. It seems like Tandy has the best social game so far. She has this bond with Valerie and Vince. Unfortunately, they don't like each other, so she can't really do anything with that. Thomas also with a pretty solid social game. And there's somebody who's not here, right? Yeah, we're missing somebody. Who's missing? Or no, there's just 5 of them. They already voted someone out. Right, never mind. On Paragons, we now have the first alliance of the season, the trio of Jessica, Juan, and Parker. Parker and Juan, they have a medium bond. Juan and Georgia with a mild dislike. Parker and Adelaide with a small bond. Parker and Jessica with a small bond. Parker and Cameron with a small bond. Look at Parker. He's kind of killing it. Then we got Parker and Georgia with a mild dislike. Not looking great for Georgia. I think she might be in trouble if they lose. And then we just got slight bonds at the end. On Spin Masters, Polaris only with one idol now. She has a medium dislike with towards Leigh-anne. She has a medium bond with Ember. Leigh-anne and Ember with a small bond. That was a medium bond in the last episode. So their fight, it did impact their relationship a little bit. Leigh-anne and Hetty with a small bond. Polaris and Hetty with a mild dislike. And Hetty and Ember with a slight dislike. So we're back to where we were earlier, where we had these two duos fighting each other. It does seem like they're kind of solidifying, unless Emperor can somehow convince Leigh-anne to flip on Hetty. Immunity goes to Paragons and Renegades. Also, Thomas, he finds the idol, which means that Spin Masters, they are going to go back to Tribal once more. Will Polaris have to play another idol? Maybe. On Renegades, we now have Miss Pasta and Thomas with idols. We see Tandy and Valerie with a minor disagreement, Tandy impressing the rest of the team, and we do have another alliance. It's Miss Pasta, Tandy, Thomas, and Vince. I don't think this is super strong because Miss Pasta and Tandy, they don't like each other. I don't think Thomas and Vince like each other. Maybe, I don't remember. But this is pretty much everybody aside from Valerie. So if they lose, Valerie's gone. On Paragons, what's happening? Adelaide impressing the rest of the team. Juan and Parker, they bond slightly. And then we got Adelaide with a major meltdown. Juan and Parker, they are also going to form another trio, but this one with Cameron. So they definitely are the power duo of this tribe, Juan and Parker. I imagine once we get back to their beach in the next episode, they're going to have an unbreakable relationship. So this is definitely a duo to look out for. Then on Spin Masters, we got Hetty and Polaris. They have a small fight. We also have leigh-anne and Polaris with a major fight. But Ember and Polaris, they find something in common, which has lasting impact. We are just locking in these duos. It is Hattie and leigh-anne versus Polaris and Ember. I think maybe Polaris is like putting the attention on her and she's gonna play her idol again, and then they can idol out Hattie or leigh-anne. I don't know. Let's go to tribal. Spin Masters, they're back. They cannot win one. It's unfortunate, but it is time to vote. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Polaris, she stands up. She is gonna play her idol on herself again. Any votes cast against Polaris will not count. I will read the votes. The first vote goes to Polaris, does not count. Polaris, does not count. Next vote goes to Hattie. One vote Hattie, one vote left. And the sixth person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor, Windenburg, it's Hattie. Hattie, the tribe has spoken. Honestly, kind of a predictable tribal. I knew Polaris was going to whip out that idol, and I knew they were going to vote for Hattie because leigh-anne did have that relationship with Ember. I'm sure she wants to hold on to it if she can, because we might be entering a merge, maybe. But either way, Hattie, I mean, I think fighting with Polaris was probably not great. I think she could have maybe been a little more, like, amiable, and she potentially would have been fine, but Polaris also a very contentious figure on this season so far. It is Ember and Polaris who vote for Hattie. Hattie and leigh-anne, they vote for Polaris. And Polaris whips out the idol. Hattie, now gone. We move on to episode 7, where we have another tribe swap. So, on the new Renegades, we have staying here, Miss Pasta, Valerie, and Vince. And then joining them from the Paragons, we got Adelaide, Cameron, and Juan. And then coming from Spin Masters, we got Polaris. On the new Paragons, remaining here are Georgia, Jessica, and Parker. Joining them from Renegades is Tandy and Thomas. And from the Spin Masters, we have Ember and leigh-anne. So that's a very interesting draw. We see Ember and Polaris, they get split up. Ember now with leigh-anne without Polaris, which means that Ember could like foster that relationship a little bit better. Parker and Juan are also split up, but they do have their respective alliance members. So Parker has Jessica, Juan has Cameron. Miss Pasta and Wins, they just formed this alliance against Valerie. They don't like Valerie, so I imagine they're still gonna target her. And I think Polaris, she could be fine, even though she's kind of by herself here. We do also see Tandy and Thomas together. They were in that anti-Valerie alliance, but I also think they had a pretty strong relationship, so they could be like a duo forming here. All right, what's going on the beach? We got Wins and Valerie with a strong dislike still. Polaris and Cameron with a small bond. Juan and Cameron with a small bond. Cameron and Adelaide with a mild dislike, and then just slight bonds at the end. Oh, and also Miss Pasta has the idol. On Paragons, we got Thomas with the idol. We have Thomas and Tandy with a strong bond. Yeah, they're definitely a duo forming here. leigh-anne and Ember with a small bond. Thomas and Ember with a small bond. Okay. Then we got Parker and Jessica with a small bond. Tandy and Georgia with a mild dislike. And then just slight bonds at the end. Or I guess mostly slight dislikes. So let's go to immunity. Reward, actually. We got a Paragons winning reward. And immunity is going to go to Paragons as well. So they're going to be safe tonight. What is happening on Renegades? We've got Adelaide with a major meltdown. Adelaide is not having a great time on this season. This might be her boot. She's been just having meltdowns. We also have Polaris impressing the rest of the team. And Miss Pasta is out of the alliance. However, a new alliance forms. It is Cameron, Miss Pasta, Polaris, and Vince. I guess it does kind of make sense that Miss Pasta would lead this alliance because it was like an alliance of convenience for her. They were just kind of like in agreement that Valerie should go if they would lose, but she also didn't really like Tandy. I don't think she really liked Thomas, but she sticks with Wins, so they are not like splitting up even though she leaves this alliance. And picking up Cameron and Polaris is pretty big, so I imagine Valerie is still getting the boot tonight or Adelaide, either one. Cameron probably wants to save Juan. I guess we'll see who it lands on. On Paragons, what's happening? Ember has a major meltdown. Oh no. She's sad that she's no longer with Polaris, I guess. But she does bond strongly with Tandy. I guess Tandy was like comforting her or something. Whatever, let's go to Tribal. All right, we got the Renegades here. The post-swap Renegades. We got Adelaide, Cameron, Juan, Miss Pasta, Polaris, Valerie, and Vince. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I read the votes. The first vote goes to Adelaide. 1 vote Adelaide. Second vote goes to Adelaide. 2 votes Adelaide. Third vote goes to Valerie. 2 votes Adelaide and 1 vote Valerie. 4 votes left. And the next vote goes to Valerie. 2 votes Adelaide, 2 votes Valerie, and 3 votes left. And the next one goes to Adelaide. 3 votes Adelaide, 2 votes Valerie, 2 votes left. And the next one goes to Valerie. We got 3 votes Adelaide, 3 votes Valerie, and 1 vote left. And the 7th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg is going to be Valerie. Valerie, the tribe has spoken. The animosity from the pre-swap definitely still lingering here. And I also imagine this is a vote split just in case somebody plays an idol. Because it doesn't seem like the alliance is voting together. Adelaide is very lucky that Valerie just had this very intense dislike between her and Vince and also her and Miss Pasta. Because I think Adelaide would have been a very easy consensus boot here, but she survives. So good for her, but Valerie, it was kind of inevitable that she would get the boot sooner rather than later. So it is Adelaide, Miss Pasta, Polaris, and Vince who vote for Valerie, and then Cameron, Juan, and Valerie vote for Adelaide. This is probably a vote split. I don't see why they wouldn't vote together, the alliance. So yeah, checks out. We move on to episode 8, where we have the merge. This is the Upper Crusts tribe, and those who make the merge are Adelaide Hyacinth, Cameron Bruno, Amber Rhodes, Georgia Hillman, Jessica Silver, Juan Morale, Leigh-Anne Chambers, Miss Pasta Tortellini, Parker Piperstone, Polaris Witten, Tandy Newbrook, Thomas Everyday, and Winston Shutter. Who is our winner here? I think Parker is doing the best for sure. He is now reunited with Juan. Juan also could win because he now has this alliance with the Swap Renegades tribe. I also think Tandy is in a decent spot. I think Thomas is in a decent spot. I think Miss Pasta could take it. I do think Leigh-Anne is in trouble. Honestly, all of the Spin Masters could be in trouble. Amber, Leigh-Anne, and Polaris. I think Adelaide is gonna be like, she's dead to rights. I think she's gonna be the consensus merge boot probably. And Jessica has been very quiet, but she is in this alliance with Juan and Parker, so she could be fine. All right, what do we got on the beach? We got Miss Pasta and Thomas with the idols. We got Jessica, Juan, and Parker in the final 3. We also have Juan, Parker, and Cameron in the final 3. Then we got Tandy, Thomas, and Vince in a final 3 as well. That was the anti-Valerie alliance. Miss Pasta not in that anymore. Look how loyal Tandy is, though. An 8? That's crazy. We also have this newly formed post-swap Renegades Alliance, Cameron, Miss Pasta, Polaris, and Vince. We now have Polaris and Leigh-Anne with an extreme hatred. That is not surprising. They have been fighting since they met, pretty much. We have Vince and Tandy with an unbreakable relationship. Parker and Juan with a strong bond. Thomas and Tandy with a strong bond. Then we got Polaris and Ember with a strong bond. Juan and Adelaide with a medium dislike. Miss Pasta and Jessica with a medium dislike. Vince and Thomas with a medium dislike. So I guess that's why they're at a 5 here in this alliance, because they don't really like each other. Tandy is definitely the glue holding them together. Then we got Polaris and Parker with a medium bond. I think they were bonding in the last episode or something. And Vince and Polaris also with a medium bond. No, actually, Parker was not on the same tribe as Polaris and never has been. So kind of weird that she has this bond with him. But okay. This truly has been a very, like, relationship-heavy season. Like, we've had all these various duos, and I think it's just gonna depend on who has, like, the strongest relationships in the game of who wins, because these alliances, they are all very shaky. They also haven't really factored into the season at all, so nobody's, like, locked in at this point. Immunity goes to Leigh-Anne. Good for her. Honestly, she might have needed it, so I think this is a good win for her. On the beach, what's happening? We got Adelaide and Georgia. They bond slightly. And what is happening on the alliance? Miss Pasta. She's out. Doing what she does best. Leaving alliances. Look at Adelaide, though. Trying to save her game here. I think she's going to be a consensus boot tonight. Also, Georgia is, like, not really in the mix anyway. So these are definitely 2, like, underdogs. Trying to maybe form an underdog alliance. I don't know. But I don't think it's going to work. All right, we're a tribal. We got the upper crusts here. We got Adelaide, Cameron, Amber, Georgia, Jessica, Juan, Leigh-Anne, Miss Pasta, Parker, Polaris, Tandy, Thomas, and Vince. Leigh-Anne, she has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Miss Pasta, she stands up. She is going to use her idol on herself. Any votes cast against Miss Pasta will not count. And Thomas is also going to play his idol on himself. Any votes cast against Thomas will not count. That is kind of crazy. 2 idols in 1 tribal. I will read the votes. The first vote goes to Miss Pasta, does not count. 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 Wow. Miss Pasta, does not count. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 votes, not counted. And the next one goes to Adelaide. 1 vote, Adelaide. Next one goes to Adelaide. 2 votes, Adelaide. 5 votes left. And the next one goes to Georgia. 2 votes, Adelaide. 1 vote, Georgia. And the next one goes to Adelaide. We got 3 votes, Adelaide. 1 vote, Georgia. 3 votes left. And the next one goes to Georgia. 3 votes, Adelaide. 2 votes, Georgia. 2 votes left. And the next one goes to Georgia. We're tied. 3 votes, Adelaide. 3 votes, Georgia. 1 vote left. And the 8th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg, first member of the jury. Wow, what a big-ass jury. It is Adelaide. Adelaide, the tribe has spoken. Honestly, I thought she was going to be a unanimous boot here, but she would have survived if Miss Pasta didn't have an idol. So, you know what, Adelaide? At least you have that going for you. You almost didn't go out, but it did seem kind of inevitable that she would be the merge boot here. She wasn't able to save herself from her fate, but yeah. Miss Pasta votes are Adelaide, Ember, Georgia, Jessica, Juan, and Parker. Okay, Juan, Parker, and Georgia, they vote for Miss Pasta here. Cameron does not vote with them, but I imagine this is, at least in some way, a vote split. Adelaide votes are Cameron, Miss Pasta, Polaris, and Wins. I believe that's the alliance that Miss Pasta just left, the post-swap Renegades alliance. And then leigh-anne, Tandy, and Thomas, they vote for Georgia. Thomas, he kind of wastes an idol here, but I imagine once Miss Pasta whipped out that idol, he got a little scared. Unfortunate for Thomas, but oh well. We move on to episode 9. We got the final 12 here. So it's a 10-person jury, I guess. Okay. On the beach now, we have an idol hidden now. No like idol clue anymore. We're just straight up hiding idols now. We only got trios left in the game. We got Jessica, Juan, and Parker. Juan and Parker also have Cameron. And then we got Tandy, Thomas, and Wins, and Cameron, Polaris, and Wins. It seems like this trio here is a little bit more real than I thought it was. Because they did vote together, and they are the ones, technically, who got rid of Adelaide here, along with Miss Pasta. Interesting. All right, Polaris and leigh-anne, they still hate each other. Wins and Tandy with an unbreakable relationship. We got some strong bonds. They are Parker and Juan, Thomas and Tandy, Polaris and Ember, and Polaris and Parker now. This comes out of nowhere. I don't think they've, like, interacted at all. But okay. Tandy and Miss Pasta have a strong dislike. Miss Pasta and Jessica have a strong dislike. Oh, no. And then we got Winston Thomas with a strong dislike, which is crazy. They have this alliance. We do also have Polaris and Juan with a medium bond, which is very interesting. So Polaris, she could become like another 3-person alliance for Parker and Juan. They are just like hoarding trios on this season. Interesting. Reward is going to go to this group of people here. It's Georgia, Juan, leigh-anne, Polaris, Tandy, and Thomas. But immunity goes to Ember. Good win for her. She's been a little bit quiet since the merge, so I think, you know, she could have potentially been in trouble. On the beach, Juan is impressing the rest of the team. Okay, good for him. All right, we're back at Tribal. We got the final 12 here. Ember, she has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to leigh-anne. 1 vote, leigh-anne. Next vote goes to Miss Pasta. 1 vote, leigh-anne, and 1 vote, Miss Pasta. Next vote goes to leigh-anne. 2 votes, leigh-anne, 1 vote, Miss Pasta. And the next one goes to leigh-anne. 3 votes, leigh-anne, 1 vote, Miss Pasta. And the next one goes to leigh-anne. 4 votes, leigh-anne, 1 vote, Miss Pasta. And the next one goes to Miss Pasta. We got 4 votes, leigh-anne, 2 votes, Miss Pasta, 6 votes left. And the next one goes to Miss Pasta. 4 votes leigh-anne, 3 votes Miss Pasta. And the next one goes to leigh-anne. 5 votes leigh-anne, 3 votes Miss Pasta, 4 votes left. And the next vote goes to Miss Pasta. 5 votes leigh-anne, 4 votes Miss Pasta, and 3 votes left. And the next vote goes to leigh-anne. 6 votes leigh-anne, 4 votes Miss Pasta, 2 votes left. So at best we can tie here. And the 9th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg, second member of the jury. It's leigh-anne. Leigh-anne, the tribe has spoken. Honestly, not super surprised that she goes out here. It did seem like the Spin Masters are in trouble. Like, they seem to be in the minority here. And if it was not going to be Leigh-anne, I think it would have been Ember. Because Polaris is in a pretty decent spot, actually, all things considered. She has been, like, bonding with the Power Alliance. But Ember did have that immunity, so I think, like, by default, it landed on Leigh-anne here. Leigh-anne also won the immunity challenge in the last episode, so not surprising that they were a little bit threatened by her. It is Cameron, Ember, Georgia, Miss Pasta, Polaris, Tandy, Thomas, and Vince who vote for Leigh-anne, and then it's Jessica, Juan, Leigh-anne, and Parker who vote for Miss Pasta. Interesting. So Juan and Parker are, they're kind of running the game, and they vote in the minority here, but I think this is probably a vote split, right? Because, like, they don't vote with Cameron, they don't vote with Polaris, who they both like. I'm pretty sure this is a vote split. But also look at this. Ember votes for Leigh-anne. That's so sad. Ember, she had like this relationship with Leigh-anne, but I guess she saw the writing on the wall and she kind of was like, okay, I'll just distance myself from her. She's going to go out anyway. I still have Polaris. Maybe our threat level will go down a little bit with Leigh-anne gone. All right, we're on episode 10. We got the final 11 here. What's happening now? We still have the idol. We have these trios that are unchanged pretty much. Look at Thomas. He's down to a 4 loyalty. He might be leaving this, to be honest. We got some unbreakable relationships now. It's Parker and Juan, Vince and Tandy, Polaris and Juan, Juan and Cameron. Juan doing really well so far this season. I think he might be winning. Obviously, this is because he was like impressing everybody in the last episode. Strong bonds are Thomas and Tandy, Polaris and Parker, Polaris and Ember. And then we got strong dislikes also, Vince and Thomas, Tandy and Miss Pasta and Jessica. Pretty much like nothing's changed. Relationships are just getting strengthened or even more destroyed, I guess. Reward is gonna go to not Ember. She does not participate and cannot win reward, unfortunate for her. But it is Cameron, Juan, Miss Pasta, Tandy, and Vince. They win a spa trip. Good for them. But immunity goes to Juan, and Georgia finds an advantage. So good for Juan, he wins. Georgia, she drops out of the challenge to get the steal vote. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, vote steal. There we go. On the beach, Thomas, he finds another idol. Good for him. Georgia now has the vote steal. Thomas now has an idol. That's interesting. We also have Ember and Juan finding something in common, which has lasting impact. And we have a new alliance. It's Ember, it's Polaris, it's Tandy, and Thomas. So this is definitely like the underdogs. They are seeing that they need to come together to try to get rid of Juan or Parker, or like eventually like get rid of them. Because I think Thomas could be in trouble. Tandy could be in trouble. What's happening with Tandy here? She's working hard at camp. Okay. For a second, I was like, is she going to get medevac? Please no. But I think Georgia is probably the boot tonight. That would be my guess. Let's go to Tribal. All right, here we are at Tribal Council. Final 11 here. Juan has the necklace. Cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. And before we vote, Georgia, she is going to use her vote steal. And she is going to steal Cameron's vote. So Cameron, not going to vote tonight. Georgia is going to have an extra vote. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Miss Pasta. 1 vote, Miss Pasta. Right, she could also go tonight. I forgot she was still here. Next vote goes to Cameron. Ooh. 1 vote Cameron, 1 vote Miss Pasta. Next vote goes to Miss Pasta. 2 votes Miss Pasta, 1 vote Cameron. And the next vote goes to Miss Pasta. 3 votes Miss Pasta, 1 vote Cameron. And the next vote goes to Cameron. 3 votes Miss Pasta, 2 votes Cameron. And the next vote goes to Miss Pasta. We got 4 votes Miss Pasta, 2 votes Cameron. And the next vote goes to Cameron. 4 votes Miss Pasta, 3 votes Cameron, 4 votes left. And the next vote goes to Miss Pasta. 5 votes Miss Pasta, 3 votes Cameron, 3 votes left. And the 10th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg, 3rd member of the jury. It's Miss Pasta. Miss Pasta, the tribe has spoken. her time has been ticking away since she played that idol. It was inevitable that she was going to go out. Did think it was going to be Georgia tonight though, but she's probably gone tomorrow is my guess. She does kind of waste her vote steal as well, but also like she's in the minority anyway, so like doesn't really matter. I think she's just gone. But yeah, Miss Pasta, she had a great idol play. Otherwise, she wasn't really, like, her social game was just not that great. So it's really not surprising that she goes out. It is Amber, Jessica, Juan, Parker, Polaris, Tandy, Thomas, and Vince who vote for Miss Pasta. Then Cameron votes are Miss Pasta and both of Georgia's votes. Yeah, Georgia, good luck. We're on episode 11. We got the final 10 here on the beach. Thomas finds another idol. What? I think this is the first time somebody has held 3 idols on a single season, right? Crazy. Okay, Thomas, I see you. We got our trios here unchanged pretty much. We also have this new alliance between Amber, Polaris, Tandy, and Thomas. Now we got Polaris and Juan with an unbreakable relationship. So do Vince and Tandy. So do Parker and Juan and Cameron, Thomas and Tandy now. Juan with one towards Amber. Amber only with a strong bond. That's random, but okay. No, actually, they were bonding in the last episode, so that's not that random. Polaris and Parker with a strong bond. Then we got Juan and Jessica with a strong bond. And Vince and Thomas still don't like each other. Reward, it goes to these people. It's Cameron, Amber, Georgia, Juan, and Vince. But immunity is going to go to Tandy. I don't think she needed it, but sure, why not? On the beach, what's happening? We have Parker and Vince bond strongly. And we also have Jessica chilling at camp. So I think it's just a consensus Georgia boot here. Yeah, let's go to tribal. All right, winner tribal. Tandy, she has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. The first vote goes to Amber. 1 vote Amber. Second vote goes to Georgia. 1 vote Amber, 1 vote Georgia. Next vote goes to Georgia. 2 votes Georgia, 1 vote Amber. And the next one goes to Georgia. 3 votes Georgia, 1 vote Amber. And the next one goes to Georgia. We got 4 votes Georgia, 1 vote Amber. And another one for Georgia. 5 votes Georgia and 1 vote Amber. And the 11th person vote out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg, 4th member of the jury. It's Georgia. Georgia, the tribe has spoken. Yeah, that checks. Pretty obvious that Georgia was going to be the boot here. Unanimous boot as well. Like, she fumbled the ball so hard. She had like no relationships. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Her game was over before it even began, to be honest. It's a unanimous Georgia vote. Georgia throws a vote on Amber, and we're just gonna move on. Let's leave it behind. We're in episode 12, final 9 here. And what's happening on the beach? Has anything changed? Honestly, not really. So I think we can just skip this. Yeah, let's just skip this. Reward is going to go to Juan. Whoa. Juan is kind of killing it this season. He is going to bring Cameron and Parker with him on reward. They get to go to a trip to a local resort. Good for them. But immunity is going to go to Juan. Second immunity win for Juan. Thomas also gets a clue to the hidden immunity idol, but he has both idols. So I don't know why he's taking that, but okay. On the beach, what's happening? Cameron has a major meltdown. Parker and Polaris have a small fight, which has lasting impact. That's not good. I mean, I think Parker is kind of keeping Polaris alive in the game, so tread carefully, Polaris. We also have Vince finally leaving the trio. That's so overdue, to be honest. So Tandy and Thomas are in a final 2 now. Who is gonna go out? I think it might be Polaris. It's Polaris or Ember, probably, would be my guess. But it could also be Cameron. I don't know. Let's go to tribal. All right, we got the final 9 here. Juan has a necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Thomas stands up. He is going to use his idol on Tandy. Any votes cast against Tandy will not count. I honestly did not think she was going to get votes tonight, but okay. I will read the votes. The first vote goes to Tandy. Does not count. Ember. Oh. Well, kind of a flop, but that's okay. Thomas has another idol. We got 1 vote, Ember, and 7 votes left. And the next one goes to Jessica. 1 vote Ember, 1 vote Jessica. And the next one goes to Jessica. 2 votes Jessica, 1 vote Ember. Next one goes to Jessica. 3 votes Jessica and 1 vote Ember. And the next one goes to Jessica. What? 4 votes Jessica, 1 vote Ember. 3 votes left. And the next vote goes to Ember. 4 votes Jessica, 2 votes Ember, 2 votes left. And the next vote goes to Ember. 4 votes Jessica, 3 votes Ember, 1 vote left. We could be tied here, but we're not. The 12th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg, 5th member of the jury. It's Jessica. That's crazy. Jessica, the tribe has spoken, so that must mean that Juan and Parker probably voted for Ember with Jessica. They lose her. That's huge. That is a huge blow to their game. Jessica was kind of purple, so I'm not like that sad to see her go, but she was definitely a number for the majority alliance, so that kind of shakes things up. It is Ember, Polaris, Tandy, Thomas, and Vince who vote for Jessica. Cameron, Jessica, and Parker vote for Ember. And Juan throws a random hanky vote on Tandy. What? Maybe this vote split gone wrong, potentially? I guess they didn't realize that Ember, Polaris, and Tandy and Vince have that alliance or something. I don't know. Either way, I think Parker and Juan are in trouble. But they do have pretty strong relationships, so I think they could salvage their game. But it's not looking as solid for them as it did like 2 episodes ago. All right, we're in episode 13. We got the final 8 here. And Thomas. What? He finds a 4th idol. What the hell? What is going on with this man? This is definitely a record-breaking idol find, like frequency of finding idols, right? Because nobody has ever held 4 idols in a single season. That's crazy. All right, what's going on? Juan and Parker are now in a final 2. Tandy and Thomas also in a final 2. Now we got these trios and the Merge Alliance, the Underdog Alliance, that it does kind of seem like they are now the majority alliance. Also, this Cameron Polaris Wins alliance, that is like so not real. Like they haven't been voting together at all, right? Also, I was wrong. Vince is not in this alliance. It's Thomas. I forgot. I was confusing the 2 of them. So Vince could definitely go out. He doesn't really seem to have anything going on aside from his relationship with Polaris and Cameron, but Cameron is definitely loyal to this. Polaris is definitely loyal to this. I think Vince could become a consensus boot. I don't know. Unbreakable relationships, Polaris and Juan. That's new, right? I don't know. Thomas and Tandy, Parker and Juan, Vince and Tandy, and then Juan still with an unbreakable relationship toward Ember. Ember only strong bond. Vince and Thomas still hate each other. We got Polaris and Cameron with a strong bond now. Okay. Parker and Cameron with a strong bond, and Juan and Cameron with a strong bond. So Cameron suddenly in the mix. I guess Cameron is more loyal to this than I thought he was, because I think he's definitely more loyal to Juan and Parker, but he does seem to still have a good relationship with Polaris. I don't know about Vince though. I think he's kind of dead weight on this in this alliance. Reward goes to Parker. It is the Loved Ones visit, and he is gonna bring Juan, Cameron, and Polaris and Tandy. Okay. Maybe a little bit of damage control bringing Polaris here because they were fighting in that last episode or 2 episodes ago or whatever. I don't remember. Bringing Tandy in also, that's an interesting choice. They are not in an alliance, but maybe he's trying to like make something work with her. Immunity goes to Cameron and Ember. So it's a last man, last woman thing. Nice. What's going on the beach? We got Thomas's idols. We got Juan impressing the rest of the team once more. Then we got Polaris and Thomas with a minor disagreement. That's not great. We also have Cameron and Thomas bond slightly. And what's going on with the alliance? Ember is out. Oh no. I might have spoke too soon. It does seem like this alliance is not the majority anymore. So I don't know where Ember is going to vote. It does seem like... Who's going to go out here? I would have thought this was like Ember's boot, but she is immune. So who is it going to be? I don't know. Let's go to tribal. All right, we got the final 8 here. Cameron and Ember, they have the necklaces. They are immune tonight, cannot be voted for. Everybody else is eligible. And it is time to vote. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now is the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I will read the votes. First vote goes to Thomas. 1 vote Thomas. Next vote goes to Vince. Right, Vince is still here. So it's probably just a Vince boot, right? Next one goes to Juan. Ooh. 1 vote Juan, 1 vote Thomas, 1 vote Vince, 5 votes left. And the next one goes to Tandy. What? What is happening? 1 vote Juan, 1 vote Tandy, 1 vote Thomas, 1 vote Vince. And the next one goes to Tandy. 2 votes Tandy, 1 vote Juan, 1 vote Thomas, and 1 vote Vince. And the next one goes to Juan. 2 votes Juan, 2 was Tandy, 1 was Thomas, 1 vote wins, and 2 votes left. And the next one goes to Thomas. Okay. 2 was Twan, 2 was Tandy, 2 was Thomas, 1 vote wins, and 1 vote left. And the 13th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg, 6th member of the jury, is going to be Tandy. Tandy, the tribe has spoken. Did not think it was gonna land on her tonight, but okay. I guess maybe after Thomas played an idol on her, they saw that they are a duo and they wanted to split them up. But what I guess maybe we're afraid that Thomas had another one because he did have that idol clue. Like he got that publicly. That like 4-person alliance is like, I think that's done now, right? Because Tandy's gone, Thomas and Polaris, they are the only ones remaining. Ember left that alliance also. And they were fighting, so yeah. Juan and Parker, potentially their like power in the game was gonna get usurped. But something happened. The underdogs, they crumbled at the most pivotal moment of the game. So congrats to Parker and Juan. I'm sure they're going to be in the final 3 now. So it is Ember, Juan, and Parker who pull off this Tandy move. Interesting. They pull in Ember of all people. Okay. Then we got Polaris and Tandy. They vote for Juan. Cameron and Vince vote for Thomas. And then Thomas throws a vote on Vince. What? Okay, I think this might have been a vote split gone wrong. Maybe Ember was supposed to vote for Vince, but then Parker and Juan approached her, were like, hey, what if we take out Tandy here? And that's why she leaves the alliance. Kind of a huge tribal. Wow. Okay. We're going to move on to episode 14. We've got the final 7 here. We do also have to remember Thomas has these idols, so he is probably guaranteed safe for the next 2 tribals. All right, what's going on? We now have alliances. They have changed a lot. We got Juan and Parker in the final 2. This is the alliance that Jessica was in. We also have Juan, Parker, and Cameron in their alliance. Cameron, Polaris, and Vince, they still have their thing, even though I don't think they voted together like a single time. But we also have Polaris and Thomas in the final 2 now, which is probably going to break apart. I don't think that's going to work. I mean, Polaris is at a 4 here. Yeah. Unbreakable relationships. Polaris and Juan, Juan and Cameron, Vince and Juan, and then we got Parker and Juan, and Juan also loves Ember still. Ember only with a strong bond, but still strong. That's pretty good. So yeah, that was definitely Juan's move to pull in Ember for that Tandy vote, right? We also have Vince and Thomas with an extreme hatred. Polaris and Cameron still have a strong bond. Vince and Cameron with a strong bond also. Okay. And Parker and Cameron with a strong bond. So Cameron, he seems to be a loyal guy because he's like, he has very strong relationships only with the people who he's in an alliance with. But is that going to get him the win? Probably not. Reward goes to Vince. And he is going to take his alliance on reward with him. Good for him. But immunity goes to Ember. Wow. She is kind of killing it. What is this? Her 4th immunity? Probably 3rd. No, it's probably her 3rd. I don't remember. But wow, she is kind of killing it this season. Good for her. On the beach, what's happening? We've got Ember and Parker bonding strongly. So I think this is Vince boot, probably. That's going to be my guess. I think Parker and Juan and Cameron are going to vote him out and probably bring in Ember as well. So yeah, seems like a Vince boot. All right, we're back at Tribal. We got Ember with the necklace. Cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I will read the votes. The first vote goes to Thomas. 1 vote Thomas. Next vote goes to Thomas. 2 votes Thomas. And the next vote goes to Thomas. What? 3 votes Thomas. Next vote goes to Parker. 3 votes Thomas. 1 vote Parker. 3 votes left. And the 14th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg, 7th member of the jury. It's Thomas. What? Thomas, the tribe has spoken. He gets voted out, blindsided with 2 idols in his pocket. Thomas, what are you doing? Play the damn idol. What the fuck? Okay, well, crazy game for him. I mean, he just lost his #1 ally. He has a person on the tribe who hates him in Vince. Ember just betrayed him. Thomas, what are you doing? Definitely the dumbest move in Sims 4 Survivor, right? Like, what? Anyway, It's a unanimous vote against Thomas. How did they pull this off? Like every single one of them was like, yeah, he can go. Even Polaris, she was in the final 2 with him. She was like, no, he's fine. It's fine. Get rid of him. Thomas throws a vote on Parker, but yeah. It also would have been huge if he had idled Parker out of the game. That would have been massive. But what, you know, whatever. Anyway, what a crazy tribal. But we are entering the finale here. We got 6 very strong players. I do think there are only 2 potential winners here, but who knows? It is Sims 4 Survivor. Anything can happen. We got Cameron Bruno. I think Cameron is in a rough spot because he does have very strong relationships with the people that he allied himself with, but I don't think he is well liked by anybody outside of that. Like, I don't think he's disliked, but I don't think he's well liked. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be hard for him to get to the end and beat anyone here. I think he can win if he goes to the end with Polaris and Vince. And I guess there is a path that way, but I think he is like blindly loyal to Juan and Parker, unfortunately. So I think he is entering a final 3 in a losing scenario, probably. We do have Amber Rhodes, who seems to be like a little bit of an underdog, but she has been cozying on up to Juan and Parker. She's also winning a lot of immunities. I don't really know where her story is going to lead. I think she could win. I'm not sure she has the relationships to cinch the win, but you know, it's possible. We have Juan Morel, who I think is winning. I think he's easily winning. I don't think anybody here is looking at him as a threat, which is a mistake in my opinion. He could go out and like fire at 4 maybe and be a fallen angel. I don't know, but it does seem like everybody loves him. Everybody on the jury loves him. So I think he's like locked in as the winner unless something crazy happens. Next up, we have his number 1, Parker Piperstone. Parker, I do think, could win, but I think he's going to the end with Juan, and I think he's going to lose to Juan. Parker, though, does have some decent relationships, so he could beat him. I don't think so, though. I think Juan has been way too well liked by everybody. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Then we got Polaris Witten, a very contentious character on this season. In the pre-merge, she was like fighting everybody. She kind of disappeared a little bit in the merge here. I feel like this is not her season. I would be surprised if she wins, and I highly doubt that she will win, to be honest. I don't think the jury likes her all that much, so I think she just like, if she makes it to the final 3, she loses automatically. But nonetheless, she was a fun character on this season. And then we got our final member here, Winston Shutter, who I also do not think is gonna win. I don't think he has a single winning scenario. Just like Polaris, he has been kind of a contentious character. He has some dislikes. There are people on that jury that do not like him. For example, Thomas, who hates him. So I think if he makes it to the final 3, he also just loses by default. In which case, actually, if Cameron decides to go with Polaris and wins to the final 3, I think Cameron wins, right? Okay, that kind of changes things. He could like Gabler himself to the end and just be against 2 people that don't stand a chance to win. That could be interesting. But yeah, I think Polaris and Wins are done. I think Wins is like probably gonna get voted out tonight in the first part of the finale. That's probably the most likely scenario. I also think Amber could be voted out actually because she her target is like huge. She has won way too many challenges. What is happening on the beach? We do have 1 idol hidden. We now have these alliances. Pretty much everything's the same except Polaris and Thomas. Their final 2 is gone. Unbreakable relationships, Polaris and Juan, Juan and Cameron, Wins and Juan, Parker and Juan, Juan and Amber. Everybody loves Juan. I think he's got it. I think he's locked. Locked for the win, probably. Unless he like blows it at the end, somehow. We have Polaris and Cameron with a strong bond, Parker and Cameron with a strong bond, Wins and Cameron with a strong bond, and Polaris and Ember with a strong bond. It's kind of cute that they are still here together, Polaris and Ember from their Spin Master days, right? It's kind of cute. Immunity goes to Juan. So that's his 3rd immunity win, right? I think so. So he could, if he wins the next 2, he could be in the mix as one of those people who have won 5 immunities, the record holders. Amber could also join their ranks, I guess. All right, on the beach, Polaris is impressing the rest of the team. I think it's probably a consensus wins boot. It could also be Amber, Because Amber, like, she is a threat to win. She does have those immunity wins. She does have an underdog storyline. And she also is not in an alliance with anybody. So it could be Ember. I don't know. Let's go to tribal. All right, we got the final 6 here. Juan has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Ember. 1 vote Ember. Second vote goes to Parker. 1 vote Ember, 1 vote Parker. And the next one goes to Ember. 2 votes Ember, 1 vote Parker. And the next one goes to Ember. 3 votes Ember, 1 vote Parker. And the 15th person voted out of Sims for Survivor Windenburg, 8th member of the jury. It's Ember. Ember, the tribe has spoken. Yeah, I mean, that checks out. I did say this was probably the most likely scenario. I sort of already laid out why this is happening. She had just ramped up to become a huge endgame threat here. Kind of sad that Polaris doesn't vote with her, but she does vote with her alliance, so that kind of tracks, I guess. But nonetheless, Ember, she played a good game. She just became too much of a threat at the end here. It's a unanimous vote against Ember. Parker receives a singular vote from Ember on her way out. And we're just going to move on to the part 2 of the finale. Now things get kind of interesting because Cameron has a choice to make. He can stay loyal to Juan and Parker and stick with them and probably lose to them. Or he can go with Polaris and wins and take out Juan and Parker and probably win. Let's see what he decides to do. Relationships are pretty much the same. I don't think we need to really go through this. Polaris and Parker have a small bond. I guess that's the only thing that we didn't know. Anyway, immunity goes to Cameron. Okay. Now's not the time to play safe. Are you going to do it? Are you going to pull the trigger? I don't know, but a huge time for him to win this immunity. All right, what's happening on the beach? Oh no, Cameron and Polaris, they have a major fight. Oh no. Juan and Polaris have a minor disagreement, and Parker and Polaris have a small fight. Ooh, okay. It seems like Polaris is gonna be the boot here. Did she tank her game, or did Cameron tell her that he's gonna vote against her, take her out? And she was like, that is stupid. Why are you doing that? You need to get rid of Juan and Parker. And then Juan and Parker were like backing him up. I think so. All right, we're at tribal. We got the final 5 here. Cameron has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands. Nobody actually found the idol. I will read the votes. The first vote goes to Parker. 1 vote Parker. Second vote goes to Juan. Ooh. 1 vote Juan, 1 vote Parker, 3 votes left. And the next vote goes to Polaris. 1 vote Juan, 1 vote Parker, and 1 vote Polaris. And the next one goes to Polaris. 2 votes Polaris, 1 vote Juan, and 1 vote Parker. 1 vote left. And the final vote goes to the 16th person voted out of Sims for Survivor Windenburg, 9th member of the jury. It's Polaris. Polaris, the tribe has spoken. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. We were kind of spoiled in that beach segment. It seemed pretty obvious it was going to be Polaris here. Kind of funny that Vince doesn't even vote with her. Like, what? What are you doing, Vince? I don't know, but Vince is definitely, he's going to be the 4th boot here. 4th placer here. He's been a GOAT, pretty much. Polaris, though, she was a fun character. I do think there was a scenario where she makes it to the end, and it was through Cameron, but Cameron was not willing to play ball with her, I guess. But also, I don't think she was winning anyway, so it's not a huge loss. It is Cameron, Juan, and Parker who vote for Polaris. Vince throws a vote on Juan, and Polaris throws a vote on Parker. Kind of a strange tribal for Vince, but okay. I guess he is the flop of the season. All right, we got the final 4 here. One of these men is gonna win. I think it's Juan. I think Juan is taking it. All right, what's going on the beach? Nothing's changed, really. I'm just gonna move on. Wins! Wins immunity! Okay, that's huge. That changes things. Interesting. So who's gonna get the boot? Maybe they take out Juan here. Will Vince and Cameron stick together? Juan and Parker are definitely gonna vote Cameron out, right? But if Vince and Cameron then decide to vote out somebody else, we could be going into fire, right? This changes everything. Let's go into the beach. Cameron and Juan have a major fight. Cameron and Parker have a major fight. Wow, they were like, Cameron, yeah, we're voting you out. This, of course, causes him to leave the alliance. Wow. Okay. We're definitely going into fire. Is Juan losing now? He could be. Like, if he loses fire, that could be huge. All right, we got the final four here. Wins has the necklace. Cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And the first vote goes to Cameron. 1 vote, Cameron. Second vote goes to Juan. 1 vote, Cameron. 1 vote, Juan. 2 votes left. Next vote goes to Cameron. 2 votes, Cameron. 1 vote, Juan. And 1 vote left. And the final vote goes to Juan. All right, we are tied. It is Juan, Cameron, and we're gonna go into fire making. And the person who loses fire and is eliminated is Juan. Whoa, Juan, the tribe has spoken. Oh my god, this is crazy. I did not expect him to go out. Fallen Angel for sure. I thought he was locked in. I thought he for sure had it. But he wins that immunity. And with that, Juan's game is set ablaze. Unlike his fire that he couldn't make. Wow. So who's gonna win now? I don't know. Let's go through the votes first. We got Juan and Parker voting for Cameron. Cameron and Vince, they vote for Juan. And Juan loses fire, he's out. Who is gonna win? I think it's Parker. Probably. Like, now that Juan is gone, Parker can take credit for everything that Juan did, and Juan was definitely like the biggest player of the season. They might also look at Cameron and be like, you know what? He might have been loyal to Parker and Juan, but at least he tried to flip on Juan at the end and got him out. Whereas they might be looking at Parker like, you were going to go to the end with Juan and lose to him. I don't know. Either way, it's not wins, for sure. Let's just go to Final Tribal Council. We've got our final 3 here. Cameron Bruno, Parker Piperstone, and Vincent Shutter. Very exciting final 3. They all plead their case to the jury. The 10-person jury asks their question. Then they cast their vote for who they think should win. And it is time to crown another Sims 4 Survivor winner. The first vote goes to Cameron. 1 vote, Cameron. Second vote goes to Vince. 1 vote, Cameron, and 1 vote, Vince. And the third vote goes to Parker. We got 1 vote for all 3. Fourth vote goes to Wins. 2 votes wins. 1 vote Cameron, 1 vote Parker. And the fifth vote goes to Parker. We got 2 votes wins, 2 votes Parker, 1 vote Cameron. Sixth vote goes to Parker. 3 votes Parker, 2 votes Vince, 1 vote Cameron, 4 votes left. And the 7th vote goes to Wins. Whoa. I thought Wins was dead in the water. What is happening? We got 3 votes Wins, 3 votes Parker, 1 vote Cameron. I guess Cameron could still win. Because we got 3 votes left. And the 8th vote goes to Parker. 4 votes Parker, 3 votes Wins, 1 vote Cameron. Which means officially Cameron has lost. And the 9th vote goes to Vince. Oh my god, we are so close. We got 4 votes Parker, 4 votes Wins, 1 vote Cameron, and 1 vote left. And the winner of Sims 4 Survivor Windenburg is Wins. What? Whoa, congratulations, Wins. I did not expect this. I had I know there was not a scenario in my mind that Vince could win this. Who the hell is voting for him? That's crazy. Parker kind of robbed, not gonna lie. Because Vince, he was not in the majority at any point. He also was not in, most alliances. But okay, I guess the jury might have been bitter or something. I don't know. So the votes are Ember, Jessica, Leigh-anne, Polaris, and Tandy, who vote for Vince. Jessica votes for Vince? She was in an alliance with Parker. What? She must have been bitter. I mean, Parker did vote her out, right? So she felt betrayed, definitely. That's kind of crazy. Adelaide, Georgia, Juan, and Miss Pasta, they are the Parker votes. And then Thomas is the random Cameron vote. Okay. I'm blindsided by this outcome. I do think, yeah, Jessica, wow. Did not think she was this bitter, but I guess she was. It does kind of track that Polaris would vote for wins. Ember was also in an alliance with... No, she was not. Never mind. But Ember probably voting with Polaris. Tandy did have a good relationship with Wins. And leigh-anne. He wins on the Spin Master vote. Okay. Anyway, fan favorite is Polaris. That kind of tracks. She was kind of a huge character on the season. She also like laid out Cameron's losing scenario and he did not listen to her. So yeah, sure. That tracks. Anyway, that is going to be our season. Here is our elimination order. We got in 20th place, Harvey Humphrey. In 19th, Darren Reeves. In 18th, Gothboy. In 17th, Tristan Spews. In 16th, Andy Short. In 15th, Hattie Jasonson. In 14th, Valerie Chandra. In 13th, Adelaide Hyacinth. In 12th, leigh-anne Chambers. In 11th, Miss Pasta Tortellini. In 10th, Georgia Hillman. In 9th, Jessica Silver. In 8th, Tandy Newbrook. In 7th, Thomas Everyday. In 6th, Amber Rhodes. In 5th, Polaris Witten. In 4th, our fallen angel, Juan Morel. In 3rd, Cameron Bruno. Our runner-up, Parker Piperstone. And our winner, Winston Shutter. Most immunity wins are Ember and Juan. They both had 3. Then we got Cameron with 2, leigh-anne, Tandy, and Wins with 1. Why did they change this? Like, what happened? Why is it looking like this now? This is like, something happened. I don't know. Anyway, most votes received are leigh-anne and Miss Pasta. They both had 18, then Georgia had 12, Harvey had 10, Ember had 9, Polaris, Tandy, Thomas, and Valerie had 8, Adelaide had 7, Tristan had 6, Cameron, Darren, Jessica, Juan had 5, Gothboy got 4, Parker got 3, Andy and Hetty got 2, and then Wins got 1. Oh, I didn't even realize that. He got no votes throughout the season. That's kind of crazy. Most strategic, Juan number 1. I would agree with that. Then we got Wins number 2. I don't think so. Like, he's our winner, but I really do not think he did that much on this season, right? Like, he was in one alliance and he didn't even vote with that alliance. We got Polaris number 3. That kind of tracks out. I would say Juan is number 1. Polaris is number 2. And I would put Ember number 3. But anyway, that is our season. All hail our current reigning Winston Shutter. A wild winner here on Windenburg, but you know what? It's fine. I will see you in the next season whenever I get to that one. We're going to continue on with the new era. Same format. There are going to be new sims that I make. There are going to be something, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, see you then. Goodbye.